it's been prepped, and I've sent you all screenshots of these. Yeah, so here's trigonometry. 3 angles, three angles measuring. That's what the Greek means. If you've got a right angle triangle right there, and an angle that's given to you, or maybe an angle they want you to find, there are 3 rules that fit within this scenario. But first you've got to learn some words, and I do mean you've got to learn some words. This is a Greek letter like pi and alpha and beta and gamma rays and all this kind of stuff. It traditionally represents an angle, okay? So, and they brought this back into the new GCSE course, so they will throw theta at you like you're supposed to know what it is. It just represents an angle. If the angle is positioned there in a triangle, then the length opposite the angle is actually called the opposite for real. And the length next to the angle is the word next to in English, which is adjacent. So 2 words you've got to learn: opposite and adjacent, or op and adj for short. And the one that Ibrahim tried to pronounce before, when we did Pythagoras, hypotenuse, is a funky Greek word. I've got to see the flipping waiting room. Meaning the longest side. And the longest side is like the ladder up the wall. It's always going to be opposite the right angle. All right? So 3 holy words you've got to learn. You've got to learn the word. Oh my goodness, I've highlighted it by accident. You've got to learn the word opposite, because it's opposite the angle, adjacent, because it's next to the angle, and hypotenuse, which is opposite the 90-degree right angle. This is the relationship between the opposite and the hypotenuse. If you've got a right angle triangle and you divide the opposite length of the triangle by the hypotenuse length of the triangle, that will give you a relationship called the sine of the angle. The sine of the angle is what you get when you divide opposite by hypotenuse. The cosine of the angle, cos for short, because that's what's on your calculator, is defined as the adjacent length divided by the hypotenuse length, or adj over hyp. Switch your video off, please. Zaim, switch your video off. Okay, I've done it. And finally, the tangent of the angle is the opposite length divided by the adjacent length. So these 3 rules work for any right angle triangle. And if you know, just with any, as with any formula with 3 parts, if I know the angle and the op, I can work out the hyp. If I know the angle and the hyp, I can work out the op, etc. So traditionally I would do 3 demos for each one of these, but I'm not going to do that because that's just so boring. So you don't need to copy that, because I've done it for you and I've uploaded it to Trigonometry Introduction. So you don't have to copy anything, you need to listen. Here's a real demo. I'm not sure if it's from the textbook, but it's something I made up. I'm getting 2 questions out of this triangle. Is that all right? Just to save me redrawing. Here I have clearly the opposite length, because it's opposite the angle given to us, and I've got the longest side, the hypotenuse. So op and hyp must be related to sine and not cos or tan. Cool? So let's set up an equation. The sine of 34, which is the given angle, is the opposite side, which I've called h for height, divided by the hypotenuse, which is 8. Question: how do you work out the height of the triangle, the opposite length? Take the 8 over and multiply. Since it's divided, you just do the inverse operation, take it over and multiply. So the height is going to be 8 times sine 34, and you literally put that in your calculator. So here it is. 8 sine 34. Don't need to put times. Casio understands we're multiplying. There you go. 4.47, 4.45. Okay, very easy. Then I thought I'd do a demo with cosine 34. What is the rule for cosine? It's the adjacent divided by the hypotenuse. And since I've got the angle and the hypotenuse, I can easily work out the adjacent length. So cosine 34 this time is adj over hyp. So how do you get the adj on its own, the adjacent? Well, take the divide by 8 over to the other side and multiply. You will get that the base, which is probably why I called it B originally, is going to be 6.6 centimeters. Let's see if I'm doing voodoo, if it's real. So 8 times the cosine of 34 degrees is going to be 6.63, 6.6. So it works. Casio gets it. You can't con Casio. This has been given to you. Here's another demo. I'm going to stop with that one because this one goes on to question 5, where what you want has been trapped underneath the division line. You must be scared of it. But here's a demo with tangent anyway. How do you know it's tangent? Well, I want to work out this opposite side, and I'm given an adjacent side, and the rule is for op and adj, tan. So that's the rule that joins together the 18, the h, and the theta, the angle, which is 28. So let me set up an equation. The tangent of 28 is the opposite, which I've called h for height, divided by 18, which is the adjacent. How do you get h on its own? Take over the 18 and multiply. It's a simple equation with 3 parts, so you can arrange it quite easily. So then you pick up your hardware, one of these, and say h is going to be 18 times the tangent of 28, and that should give us whatever it says there, 9.57, 9.6. So that completely works. All right, now what I've done for you people, and no one has bothered to thank me for doing it for you, but still I don't care, as long as I get paid. I have done that for you without the black line. I have done that for you. I have done that for you. I have done that for you, but that's a lesson going forward, and that's just somebody who needed to talk to me about another question, probably from the book. You will know from your Show My Homework that the introductory lesson on trigonometry involves exercise 1, page 208, question 1, question 2, question 3. Now, too many of you lazy little boys don't like drawing the triangles. I insist you draw the triangles so you can see the context of the question. So question 1, draw and do. Question 2, draw and do. Question 3, draw and do. Now these are retarded starter questions. The reason being is because for question 1, they tell you to use sine. You're just going to use this, which means that sort of thing. For question 2, they just want you to use the cosine formula, which is that one. And so you're going to use, it's probably going to be a scenario something like that. And finally, Cyril, for question 3, they direct you to use the tangent formula. So it's probably going to be a scenario a bit like that. Now, because this is grade 5 and goes beyond grade 5, I'm not sure if I'm going to bother to teach up to grade 5 here. Beyond grade 5, sorry. We'll do just those first 3 questions first, but it starts at grade 5, and when the questions get a bit more edgy, you're looking at grade 6. There is no grade 7 and 8 in this book. It's a bit difficult trying to perceive in 3 dimensions what's happening in terms of trigonometry, but that's what year 11 looks like. I'll talk to Lucy about that. She knows all about that, and Olivia as well has done some of this stuff. Now, I would like to see not just my face,